School Ryder, come back at you one more again. I have a very special guest to the podcast. I have Miss Nyiah Moore from the West Coast. How you doing today, Miss Lady?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing great. All right, Miss Moore. I want to make sure I said your first name correct. Did I say it correct, Nyiah?
It is Nyiah. Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to ask you a few questions here and there today. So, how did you get your start in the literary world?
Well, I've always been writing like since I was a child, but professionally, I was writing some excerpts and had some snippets up on MySpace when MySpace was a big thing. And I connected with some well-known authors in the industry. And at the time, I didn't realize they were really who they said they were. You know, Zane, Eric Jerome Dickey. These are my favorite authors. So I'm just thinking, they're not real, right? Like, it can't be that easy, right? Just to get in and network that way. But they wind up being who they were. Long story short, I got connected with an agent and I was able to submit some anthology submission short stories. I got into Zane's Chocolate Flavor, Busy Bodies, and it just kind of went from there. Now I'm with Carl Weber with 6 books under him, and I've done everything from self-published to indie. I'm everywhere.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Carl Weber been around for like a very long time.
Yeah.
I saw some of your stuff from like way back in the day. I was wondering like, who is this lady? It just seemed like you dropping books like Houston rap artists dropping mixtapes.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Yep. For a minute, I was dropping a book every 4 weeks for about 2 years.
You got some stories. You got a lot of stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is some of this stuff like kind of personal to a certain extent, and some of this stuff like people you know?
Well, of course, there's always some type of inspiration. I get inspired by everyday conversation from friends, family, people watching, my own dating experiences. I know early on in my writing when I called myself a serial dater back in the day.
That's before the term came along, I guess.
Right, before, catfishing was really a thing. But a lot of that stuff was great material for writing, for sure.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got a lot of material myself that I'm trying to pretty much put out. I used to write all the time, but I just never kind of put it together. It's just kind of loose. I think I'm gonna end up putting a book together one of these days. I keep saying that, but I'm gonna end up doing it.
Start writing. Gotta just start anywhere. It could be your first thought, whatever's on your mind, and you put the pages together later. It could be scattered in all different order. It doesn't necessarily have to be in order when you first start out. Just write whatever comes to mind. Free write. See where it goes. You worry about editing and all that later.
I know back in the day when you first started, it was a whole lot harder to get books published.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, trying to do it the traditional way, self-publishing, ebooks, Amazon really wasn't a big thing when I first started out. It was just like at the tip of that transition. Bookstores were still open back when I first started, which was about like 2003. But the transition was starting to happen. More people realize they can self-publish and just put their stuff up on Amazon. They don't necessarily have to go through the rejections and all those rejection letters, which, by the way, I have over 40 rejection letters before I finally got it. But that's how it goes, that's the business.
So those rejection letters that you received back then, did you end up going with some of those publishers at the end?
No, honestly, I just moved on. Once I got rejected from those certain publishers, I just never submitted to them again. I reached out to a mentor, like Karen Equinotis Miller, wound up being one of my mentors, and she helped me with my query letters and things like that. But really, what did it was because I secured the deal with Zane one-on-one. I didn't have an agent. Then people start noticing, like, wait a minute, okay, so she's with Zane now. That's Diamond and Shootster. Let's look at what else she got going on. Then people start coming to me to submit. So.
Oh yeah, now you hot, they all on you now. Okay. It'll be like that, Yeah, Zane one of the legends in the game as well. I know Zane has some shows and movies on BET,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, she had the jump off, Sex Chronicles. She's still doing her thing in the industry and still doing a lot with film and writing and different things like that.
All right. All right, let's kind of move this. How many books do you actually have total right now to your credit?
Ah, I think this one that just came out in February made book number 38. Book number 38. 39 is
Solo?
releasing in November. Yes,
Solo?
solo.
God, that's a lot of work. You're not that old either. You're so young. You like I don't know how old you are. You don't have to say it, but you're not that old.
No, no, I'm not. I'm not. It's a lot of stuff that I had pre-written from high school. I had three novels ready by the time I finished high school, and was
Mm.
producing stage plays in high school. So by the time I got published, a lot of that stuff I was just repolishing and updating and making it current and making it make sense. Because in high school you may think a relationship goes one way. After 2 weeks you go together, and it's a big serious thing. But as an adult, it don't work like that. So a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
those stories I just wind up, I just rewrote what I already had pretty much.
Oh yeah, kind of remix it a little bit. I know in high school everything seemed like it lasts forever, but like you said, it was only be like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
Like y'all going steady and all that good stuff back in the day. My God. So, so since you work with different publishers, who is your inspiration like writing wise, like author?
Honestly, Zora Neale Hurston, like day one, when I read Their Eyes Are Watching God, we actually have the same birthday. So it was like, I felt like I was her reincarnated almost. A lot of the subjects she liked to write about what was going on with African Americans socially and just what we were going through in that time, especially during the Harlem Renaissance. And I write a lot about what's going on in this time for us as African American women and dating and relationships and whatever. But also, of course, Terry McMillan, Edward Jerome Dickey definitely is a huge one for me.
Oh yeah, that also is legends as well. I'll say. All right. Hmm. All right. So what inspired you to write this particular book? I actually my second time getting the book. The first one I don't know where it's at, but this one right here.
Oh, Young Gucci, yes. Absolutely dating experience. I dated a Gucci. So
Oh Lord, you like them thugs? I say that's what you say.
no, it's crazy. I guess that's just how it happened. But it's thugs are not good for me. But
Oh, not good for you.
no, no, no. But I've had my fair share.
Yeah, I saw some of your posts on Instagram. I'm like, dang, she said this out loud. Okay, you don't care. Hey, you
Well,
you real? I
when you're
gotta
a
give it to you.
when you're a romantic writer or an erotic writer, you know what I mean. Some of these things that's what people like to see, hear, read. I'm not bashful when it comes to writing those type of things. I feel like I'm very comfortable and confident in who I am as a woman, so it's very easy for me to do those things and write them or talk about them.
Do you get any type of backlash from like the church folks on your subject matter?
So, well, it's crazy because my grandparents were a pastor and wife.
Hmm.
And so a lot of my family members are still very much church members, church going people. That's why I kind of was hesitant really to let them know what I was writing, what I was doing. It took me a few years after I was actually published and out before they kind of got word that I was doing it. They didn't know what I was doing. So, they were interested in coming to my first book signing, which was Guilty Pleasures. And I
Hmm.
was going to read an excerpt. And so I told them, okay, I'll just give you guys a warning. It's really racy. Read with your eyes closed and listen with your ears shut. Um, but my grandmother told me before she passed, like, sex has been around before I was born. If that's what you want to write, that's what you write. If that's what you're passionate about, do it and be the best at it. Don't hold back because of who your grandparents are. you know, do you? So I was like, oh, okay. And, she read it and she just smiled. I, I was blushing for her, but
You know the old women, man. God, they know what it is, but they don't want to just come out and like, okay. They'll
yeah.
put it to your side like, baby, I know.
hmm Yeah, my aunt, she showed me my Kindle on the slide, like her Kindle on the slide, like at Thanksgiving. Like, look, I got, and I'm like, oh no, you are not supposed to be reading that. She's like, shh, shh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, girl. Thank you though. Keep doing you.
Yeah, she's supposed to be reading Ephesians 1 and all that good stuff or whatever the case may be in her Kindle. And she got all that nasty stuff in there. Okay. Well, these people something else, I swear.
Well, she's like, that's my niece, go niece.
You got to support.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed your books always been the major retailers for like years. I always see your name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I got this one at Walmart. I got the ones I bought at Walmart recently.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of screenshots and shout out definitely to Carl Weber and Urban Books. They really got behind me and I see Sam Cove, Queen's Diamond, Young Gucci. I'm always getting screenshots of different stores I'm in. I've seen myself in where I'm at because California, Sacramento, we don't really do urban books over here like that. We don't have books on the shelf. We don't have an African American section in some of the Walmarts. So every now and then I am lucky to see a glimpse of one of the books. And of course, I'm like totally fangirling over myself. Like, there I am. I made it. I made
Oh,
it.
yeah. I mean, of course, I'm in Atlanta, but I was on the, what part of Atlanta is that? I think it's the west side. Yeah, your books all over those Walmarts over there. And also the south side. I'm like, dang. Only time I used to see your books, I had to go to like one of those African bookstores back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, every now and then it might pop up on the used section, maybe like somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But it come to seeing that Walmart within the last year or so, I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Sister girl doing it.
One lady showed me I had like 4 on the shelf at one time. She was like, "Look at you!" It's like boom, boom, boom. You're like, you're gonna buy a Nyiah Moore book, like.
Yeah, I think I saw 3 of your books if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I had Young Gucci recently. I'm like, you know what? Let me grab this again real quick. So pretty much this book is like a Gucci, of course, but you know you met him on social media. Is that right?
Yep, that's true.
So tell us a little bit about the story, just a little bit.
So she, Soraya, has given up on finding love in a club and meeting guys in the grocery store. It just hasn't really panned out for her. Her recent boyfriend is actually doing some time in jail. Her ex-boyfriend. So she's like, she's seen an ad for online dating, and she gets curious. Can I really find love online? Is that really possible? So she sees a profile for a guy, and she's instantly attracted. Her roommate's very skeptical. Like, girl, please don't do it. Nope, nope, nope. Just, we can find you a nice guy. We could even do matchmaking, but just don't go to internet dating. So basically, the guy is not a catfish. It really is him. She sees him in a club, not a club, but Chris Brown, House of Blues concert. And he spotted her because he noticed her profile and her message, and he read it. He just didn't get an opportunity to respond back to her, so he decides to respond in person. The only thing is that he's hiding many secrets.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. You give us a little bit, but don't spoil that part.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes even with, I can't say with it, even with that, a lot of people go wrong with it. I mean, I know the dating market is kind of weird nowadays. People trying to get the opportunities to do whatever they need to do. Even though it ain't the right thing to do, but hey, that's on them.
A lot of people just put it straight out there what they're doing, up front, and then there are some who don't put it all up front. They hide a lot of things. It's almost like peeling an onion. I mean, of course, the more time you spend with someone, the more stuff starts to come out. But a lot of guys that I've encountered don't believe a woman could be real and be honest about who she is. So they get a little shocked when you actually are who you said you are, but they're not. So then they got to come clean. Like, well, I thought you were fake, so I did tell this lie, I don't really do that, but or they say things to impress you, right?
I mean, sometimes y'all females like people selling y'all a dream most of the time. When you being a little bit too honest, you be like, oh, okay, this dude kind of weird. Some people do appreciate. Some women do appreciate the truthfulness. Either you gonna roll with it or you ain't. But a lot of people like dreams being sold to them. It's kind of nah, this can't be.
I think that's a misconception. I think a lot of men think we want the dream, or well, I know for me, I don't want you to sell me a dream. I just want you to be you and whoever you are, quirky, nerdy. Shoot, I'm a nerd myself. We could talk about Star Wars and Infinity War. What do you want to talk about? I mean,
oh wow,
just be you. But I'm a super nerd. I really am. I'm Marvel girl to the core.
Okay, what's your favorite character since you brought that up? Off subject, what? The hammer. Okay, that was too easy. Okay, I got you. So you play? Are you a gamer as well?
So I used to be a gamer. I used to play like NBA 2K and Black Ops and Call of Duty and Guitar Hero and Sims and all type of things. I really don't have much time anymore to game, but I'm not against it. I like gamers.
Okay. Yeah, you might need to get if you have some time, you need to get you a Twitch channel or something.
What is that? A Switch? A
Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah, I think it's a social media site that people play games online.
Oh. Okay.
It's a big community out there. You're gonna be in shock. A lot of people cleaning up on there.
Are they?
Yeah. And you're a female too. They're
I'll definitely listen to that.
Hey, I'm just speaking facts on here. So what's the next project that's coming out right now?
So November we have A Thug's Heartbeat coming out. That's my next one.
Is that following up behind another book? Is that something totally different?
It's totally different. Originally, the original book was called TYB, or I don't even know if I can cuss on this show. Can I cuss? No, I don't know.
I had Ron Wills on here recently. After that, hey, just do whatever you do.
Originally it was called Tell Your Bitch, the Tell Your Bitch story, which was very, very popular on Amazon. But Carl Weber wound up purchasing that series. So he renamed it A Thug's Heartbeat, Rocco Street Justice. So it's a remastered version of Tell Your Bitch, pretty much.
Yeah, some of your titles like, dang. But you don't have no extras or nothing on there. It's just Tell Your Bitch.
Yep. Yeah.
Not trying to offend nobody. That's the name of her book. Hey, just saying. What's going on with that one? I know that was the original book, but that's going to be remastered into the other book, right?
Yeah. So it's the same characters and the same storyline. It's just filled in a lot of holes because the original book was written really fast. Because that publisher, David Weaver, wanted me to release a book every 4 weeks. So I literally was writing and releasing every 4 weeks that whole series. So a lot of time wasn't put into it. Like I really could go there with the storyline and really sit back and look at it. So mostly the editing and then pulling together some missing pieces and holes that a lot of the readers had with the original.
I mean, sometimes with us, we're not really worried about the editing. We just, care about the story.
Right.
Especially in the urban genre,
Oh, yes. Yep.
If it's like a good character, like a dude that's muscular or masculine or whatever the case may be, kind of rough around the edges, I mean, you throw a little bedroom stuff in there, bam. Man, we'll eat that up all day.
All day. It's been 13 weeks, #1 on Amazon Urban.
Dang.
Yeah, it did well for me.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So how does this work? I guess you write some of your stuff and your publisher say, hey, we'll go ahead and take this? And then cut you a check. Is that how they work?
I have an agent now. And so my agent will shop a deal for me like she did with Carl. Hey, we have 6 books for Nyiah Moore. Do you want all six? How many do you want? He was like, yeah, I want all six. Like, he didn't
Wow.
even really care about the titles. He was just like, yep, I want. I know who Nyiah Moore is. I know who Nyiah Moore is, but I want all six. And so he gave me an advance per title, and my agent, cuts me in on the advance, and then I make my royalties once I sell past the advance.
I was wondering how the book thing work when they cut your check for the advance. I guess when your book sales go past that,
Then
you get whatever is left over or whatever.
Yep.
So that's residual income then, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's for life, right?
Yeah, I mean, as long as the title is up and selling, I will always receive a check. If it's out of print or going through, I believe one of my titles is in second print by now. I think it's San Cove that's in second print. But it's all mass market. So as long as he has the books for sale under his label, Urban Books, I will receive money.
So on the San Cove, I know you had like multiple titles on there. What was the inspiration behind those particular books?
I decided to do something different. I've been writing urban for so long, and erotic. I decided to do something more mainstream with a little thriller murder mystery into it. It's totally different than what I normally write. Even though I don't really like to put myself in a box anyway, I kind of write all over the place, from paranormal to, vampires and all types of different things. But San Cove was the first time that I really stepped outside and pushed myself to write more of a whodidit mystery on the beach. And it worked out. Part 1 and Part 2 is out right now, and I receive a lot of love for that series.
So what may be the closest book to that? Would it be Beyond Bayou? Or would it be like a different book that's going to be kind of close to mainstream or whatnot?
Beneath the Bayou, definitely. I feel a lot of people slept on that one, and I think a lot of people get scared of voodoo, so they don't want to read about that. Some people, and then with the paranormal type activity that goes on in that book, it is rather creepy. Twin sisters, yeah, they're just not too many people know about that one. So,
I mean, like I said before, it's one of those slept on classes, but if you know about it just a little bit, it is very interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta re-get that one as well, but that one, I'm like, this is a little bit different than what you actually write sometimes. That means I was looking like she got some range.
Yeah, I don't like to be in a box. I like to do something different all the time. Even with Major Jazz, that's a historical fiction book based on the San Francisco jazz era. I'm a vintage jazz lover. I love old jazz, Coltrane, Miles Davis. I named my son Miles because I love Miles Davis so much. But that one too is one of those ones where a lot of readers sleep on because they really love my urban ghetto drama, but so they don't really give the other stuff a chance. But I have something for everybody.
I mean, eventually somebody's going to pick it up and it's just going to blow like, dang, I didn't know you had this one, girl. Yeah, it's been there.
Lord's willing.
I'm telling you that they Beyond Bayou, they need to be like a miniseries or something. They got to be something.
I think it would be dope if, like, Peele, Jordan Peele, I think he would be able to put a really good spin on Beneath the Bayou. I think it would turn out really dope.
Yeah, I was looking at it for a little bit. I'm like, God, she got to do something with this book. She got to do something. It could be a skit or something. She got to do something with this book. She can't let this one go to waste. I'm telling you, you got one right there. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, Beneath the Bayou's the one, huh?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Then the other book that you mentioned, that can be maybe the second or the third one.
Oh, Major Jazz.
Yeah, but I know you could put a twist on it if you want to.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know everybody like the stuff that you normally would write.
Yeah.
You got over 30 titles, right? That's a work ethic right there.
It takes discipline, but I was a wife, mother, and did it all. And I have a 9 to 5, a regular 9 to 5. So a lot of people are like, "How? When do you sleep? How are you putting all this stuff out?"
God, yeah, you something, man. I gotta give it to you on that. You on the West Coast too. You're in Cali, right?
California, yes, Sacramento.
That's a 3 hour difference between here and Atlanta. Golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to schedule different times, and what you like, hey, that's too early, that's too late. Oh yeah.
I was hoping it wasn't too late for you. So I'm like, I know it's late over there. What's it, 9:30? 9:30?
Yes, what time? Yeah, it's 9:30 in Atlanta right now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to be going on any type of tours here pretty soon that you know of?
Oh man, I would love to be able to put some kind of tour together. Just right when I was getting comfortable, because I'm a little shy, but just right when I was getting comfortable with speaking and doing public speaking, then COVID happened. And so I would love to be able to go to like the Black Book Expo or in Atlanta, they have quite a few literary events that happen out there. So
there's always something going on out here, you know.
Yeah, everyone's like, when are you coming? Like, I know this book club, 556 Chicks. I don't want to mess up their name, but they have this book event every year. And she always messaged me, like, what can we do to get Nyiah Moore in ATO? Like, what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? And I'm like, man, the prices of these flights out of California are ridiculous, first of all.
Yeah, when I excuse me, when I lived in Texas like a few years ago, whenever I travel to the West Coast, the flights are always higher. I'm like, how? Are we like in the middle of the country? We closer.
Man, I tell
ridiculous.
People, if you live like in North Carolina or something trying to get to Atlanta, that's not such a bad thing. But California prices trying to fly. Listen, I gotta save up for that. Okay, so I need to, put it on a calendar and just go ahead and do it at this point, because everyone is waiting for me to make my appearance. So,
I mean, I could tell the way that your book's kind of selling a little bit at Walmart. I mean, the other day it was kind of full of Gucci, but this was like the last one that I saw at the Walmart when I was on the West Side earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying they fly off the shelf, but they know who you are out there. They buying something.
Oh yeah, for sure. They definitely.
I saw 3 of your titles out there. I mean, today.
Yeah, I get a lot of love from over that way, especially too like Maryland and North Carolina. That area is real big. I get a lot of people that they're not even my friends on Facebook, but they'll screenshot something on Instagram, tag me in it, and I'm just like, whoa, like, okay, it's here. I worked hard for it, so my name is getting out there.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be once this atmosphere is over, everything just gonna go crazy. I'm telling you.
And I'm trying to be there, so.
Yeah, this is gonna be the right time for you to strike, but we're getting close to the end right now, so we're gonna ask some car questions here. Actually, this a car show.
Okay.
What was your first car, actually?
Oh man, I had my dad bought me a 1992 Geo Prism. And this was in 99, which was my senior year of high school.
Oh, that was played out then too.
Man, it was already like 7 years, but it was red and it was mine, and everybody would see that red Geo, they knew, oh, they're going to
Was it a hatchback or was it like the little small 4-door car?
It was a sedan, the 4-door. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, since you're in California, the car scene out there is pretty huge out there with the low rider and all type of small cars out there as well. So, what is your favorite car that you see out there nowadays, or maybe in the past that you had a liking for?
Right now, I really, really like. Gosh, it's so crazy because I still want my Jeep. Like, I feel like my heart is in New York. Like. I want a Jeep so bad. You
feel like Nino Brown on New Jack City?
Yeah, I want a Wrangler Unlimited edition. That's really what I want. But I see Teslas. Teslas are like big out here. I really want a Tesla. I'm not really an old school lover per se, but they are hot cars, muscle cars. Muscle cars are nice.
I mean, some of the newer stuff is like muscle cars, like the Dodgers, you know, the Challengers, and you know, the other cars, you know, like Camaros, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You see, everything is out there in California, really.
Yeah, they still do their like car shows and stuff out here on Sundays, and they pull out their old schools and they go out there and turn on their beat, their music, and we don't really hit switches like LA, but you know, there's still some nice classic cars out here.
Hey, long as it don't break down on you and get you from A to B, hey. I mean, if you can do it with some style, hey, that's great as well. But if not, hey, it's okay. It's your car.
Exactly.
I mean, you could be doing this.
Hitchhiking on the side of the road.
I mean, you really can't do that no more. You know, you're taking a big old chance.
You absolutely are. Because you ain't got to worry about the hitchhiker anymore. You got to worry about the driver, okay? Is the driver safe? Who's picking you up? Is he going to kidnap you? You know.
These people crazy, man.
Yeah.
My God. All right, I see you. Is that Dorothy Dandrick in the background, if I'm not mistaken?
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
That's not Holly. That's the OG back there.
The OG. Yes.
My God. All right, you can go. This is the part you can go ahead and plug yourself in real quick, your social medias, and where to buy your material at.
All right. Well, you can find me everything at Nyiah Moore, except Instagram, it's Nyiah Read More, but Twitter, Facebook, everything's Nyiah Moore, NIYAHMOORE. And then my titles, pretty much every single one is on Amazon, but you can find Walmart, Target, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, pretty much everywhere.
Do you have any audio books out?
Yes,
Are they
absolutely.
straight? Oh, you do?
Yeah, Queen's Diamonds, both Sand Cove series, Young Gucci, they're all on audio.
So how hard is that to do an audio book anyway?
Well, I didn't have to do anything. Carl Weber
he just put it all together and just boom.
I get the message, congratulations, this title has been picked up for audio. I'm like, okay, all right. So I don't know how that works. Everyone tell me all the time, how do the narrators get picked? I have no idea.
I always wondered that. I wondered, did the writer do it or the company did it? But you know, Carl took care of everything.
Everything.
Man,
He's doing big
man.
things. Doing big things. Watch the Family Business. Look, Carl, I'm plugging for you. Family Business on BT.
Hold on, let me see Family Business. I'm trying to think that. Golly, I think I seen that show like a few times if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're starting to film season 3 right now, so you know they doing it.
I'm sure they're filming in Atlanta. I'm sure they are. Everybody out here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
God, dog. All right, we're gonna talk offline once we get done here. But do you have any type of Do you have anything else to say before we go?
No, just you know, welcome to my new readers, or thank you for checking me out. For those who don't know, or for those who are looking for a good read, check me out. And for my Read More crew, I love you guys as always.
All right, this is Mr. Old School right on Hey, Use Your Inside Voice Live. We do appreciate Ms. Moore coming through here. Stay right there, Ms. Moore. And don't forget, we have a show on Saturday at 11 o'clock West Coast time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have Miss Air Force Amy on the line as well on Saturday. Come check the show out, and shout out to the Whistle Gang. You know who you guys are. Had to plug in my guys as well. And we'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good night. Stay right there, Nyiah.
All right.